Hey, what's up, people, and welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BigExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate, and I am I'm very disappointed in my engineer slash owner of the station because I've been here for quite some time now. And he didn't celebrate. This month was my celebration month for being on Big Exposed Radio for like 30 some years. And it feels like 30 some years. It feels like a minute, but I've been on here for quite some time. I believe I have to look at the thing because after like year 5, I kind of lost count. So I think this year is year 7. Or I think it was like year 7 or year 8. Marty will figure it out. He's doing the math. He's the accountant. I'm not. But I got some cake and ice cream.
Woo!
For me. So, but I don't play with cake and ice cream, especially birthday cake. I don't do that. But I'm just really excited. It's been a really tough month for me. And just the pandemic kind of summating the whole experience, losing so many people just randomly back to back. It's one thing when I'm not saying it's better, but it's one thing when you just see celebrities' deaths. But when it hits home, that matters most to me because I don't know those people. I have concerns, but it doesn't hit you the same way when it's a loved one, a friend. And I've had 2 big deaths in this year. My friend Martique, and my grandmother. And my grandmother kind of was way more personal. And I still feel a certain type of numbness because I'm definitely a grandma's boy. And as of this month, all 4 of my grandmothers are no longer here. And it's, we, even looking at our parents, we don't realize they're aging until something like this happens because our first impression of them is what we have of them. And to watch my grandmother kind of slip into Alzheimer's, in the last couple of years and then watching that get worse because of the pandemic. People don't realize people with Alzheimer's, it's a very unpredictable condition, but having people around you can make it better because you're constantly talking to them and reminding them, and that's helping them to kind of hold on to their memory. And the memory portion of their brain is deteriorating. I know I said that wrong, but I don't care. But that was the hardest part of all of this, knowing that she's not struggling anymore, or she's not, getting upset when she can't remember stuff the way she used to. Her being kind of one of the strongest people I know. All my grandmothers were. It was weird, but all of them had a strength that was undeniable. And this grandmother, this was my father's mother, having buried 4 of her children, a husband, grandchildren, and I've never seen my grandmother cry, not one time. And I'm not saying she was Superwoman, but she was that image for me. Many of the women in my family are, but specifically her, never shed a tear. And part of who I've become is due largely in part to that strength. I do hats because my grandmother always loved hats, and that's something that I wanted to bring on. And just, if you've lost somebody throughout this pandemic, take the time for yourself, take that time for grieving, and we all grieve in different ways. So don't ridicule somebody because you don't see them doing something, or they don't, you know, they don't grieve like you do. For me, grieving means take charge, do everything that's necessary to be done. I was serving people at the repast and making sure I'm the tissue guy. Like I make sure everybody got tissues. And that's just how I like to keep busy in moments like that. So grieve how you grieve, but definitely take time and building a business, being in another phase of my business. I was really hesitant about taking time off, um, and I just had to. You know, I've never not did a show back to back, and I took those 2 weeks for myself, and I really gave myself the space, and I made space for me, and not just in grieving, but just to get everything in order and not feel like something's in my face. But definitely, you know, taking the time. And one of the things that really helped me get through it was 2 years ago, I did the last play that I directed 2 years ago. I was able to honor her on her 81st birthday. And she was 84 when she passed away. And we shared so much. Her birthday is just 6 days after mine. So that's going to be a tough moment for me as well. But just knowing that I gave her flowers while she was here gave me so much calm. And just because I was a mess with my other grandmothers, because sometimes you don't feel like you've done all that you could do. And it was really, this pandemic really showed me how resilient we could be, but also how family is supposed to be. I think most of us was forced to be together more than we ever were before, and have the need, that urge, that need to be together more than we could. But just, you know, giving roses while we still can. Give people their roses while they're upright and can smell them. You know, is a motto that my paternal grandmother always told me. But just giving people that encouragement now. Don't wait. One of the things that bothers me the most is when people share pictures of somebody that passed away, and you never saw that person on that timeline any other time. It's almost like we take pictures and save them for those moments, and it's an ugly thing that we do, and it's, you know, I understand it. You know, it's our way of connecting, but I want to see that when we not right, not just on Throwback Thursdays, but I want to see it every day. You know, I hate to see a celebrity that we let fall by the wayside. As soon as they die, everybody sharing a picture of them that they got when they got to meet that person. But that person needed that love and encouragement then. Not they can't. It does nothing for them now. Nothing. It has no, you know, bearing on them because they're no longer part of this world anymore. But yeah, so it's been. I know it's weird, but I have to be honest. They not. They have transitioned onto a much better place than we're in right now. But yeah, so that's been my September. Just working. I've been stage managing a play and doing some work with a couple other artists and just building up myself creatively. And I'm just really excited. Hey, Tamika. Tamika says it's no time frame for grieving. Or, oh, I'm sorry, you did share that. Sorry, my bad. Tamika says it's no time frame on grieving or no right or wrong way. Just take the mask off, please. Oh, me. And it's Marnie. It's Marnie.
I thought you saw it when you laughed, so I'm like, okay, maybe he'll take it
off.
No,
I didn't. I didn't see it.
But I guess not.
But yeah, so it really is. It's a blessing to have somebody for 84 years. It's a blessing to be a namesake of someone, and you know, just reach out to those family members you have now. Reach out to them. And I know sometimes it's hard and it's difficult and things may have happened, but don't wait until somebody dies and be filled with so much grief and turmoil. But this show is not about grieving. I just wanted to give an extra shout out to my grandmother all month long. But today we're going to talk about putting that passion to work. We have a lovely young lady, Miss. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Shamise. Najee, if I said it right. Okay.
It's Shamise.
Yeah, Miss Shamise joining us now. And I met her at an awesome establishment, Next Phase down on Lexington Street.
I love
You have
that.
not already. I think they're starting to open their doors back up, but I know they're doing deliveries and pickups. But go support them. It's a great Black-owned business. The food is great.
Amazing.
That pasta, yeah, I remember that. I'm glad I'm no longer in the building where that place is anymore because, I ate a lot of pasta in the duration that we were in that same building. But yes, go patronize them and support them. But today we're going to talk a little bit about just that passion being turned into business. Shamise is a entrepreneur, many hats, as many of us people of color have had to be. We do so much with so little, and we have so many talents and gifts. We also have, beside me, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Crystal.
She got all spiffy for us today too. She got some Style Lounge gear on.
Style Lounge shirt.
Okay.
Necklace, little earrings.
All right. Is that one of her? Amore. She got her Amore shirt on. Style Lounge Boutique, 1734 Maryland Avenue. Come on by. Shameless plug, but you gonna see it up there, Miss Tamika. And then come get some jewelry. You know, after you get your outfit, get your jewelry to match it from Bad Shop with Jewelry. But I'm putting that passion to work. You gotta make it perfect. But there are
the butterfly. That's yours. I gotta come to Maryland Avenue for that.
The Style Lounge is on loan. On Style Lounge.
Okay. Okay. I
want my fee. I'm gonna send you my bill. This product placement.
Yes.
But I'm really excited today. One, because we finally got to meet each other outside of the eatery because they ain't paid for advertising.
Right.
And then recently she's reached out to me and just. We have to keep in touch with each other, not for the sake of just making money, but keeping in touch with each other because it's a small world, but this entrepreneur game ain't for the weak-hearted, and it's very difficult when you don't have the support that you need.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about partnering with individuals and working with individuals and just being a part of this whole system of just helping people win. And don't just help people because it gives you an opportunity, because you're going to get that blessing back regardless. But help people because you like to be helped. Like, we know what it feels like to do things alone, you know, and I'm a God-fearing man, so God is by me when nobody else is. But yet and still, we know what it feels like I know as an actor, to look out in an audience and don't see any face that you know. Realizing it's strangers you more than your own blood and kin and family and loved ones. It is some bullshit. That's how deep it is. But just understanding what that support system is. And it doesn't mean I have to come to your shop, which I do want you to come to the studio. It doesn't mean buying something from you. It doesn't necessarily, you know, always having to be there or buy the ticket. But sometimes just share something out. Share or like or come by when they're having an event. You don't have to purchase anything. But you being there sometimes matters the most, because if you're looking out and all your customers or all your audiences are unknown faces, you don't really, that comfort level, you have to then create that versus you just naturally having it because you have loved ones to support you. And I realized throughout this pandemic, I spent a lot of money trying to support other people. And I'm not going to say I'm not doing it anymore, but I'm going to be very selective because people like to take, and they don't know how to receive that take. And when it comes to our passion, we have to be in a space of give and take.
Yeah.
Because it's about support. If everybody supported the person to the left and to the right of them, we would all be good. We will all be good. And it takes very little to just give encouragement. You know, when I can't come to something, or I can't get this time, or I can't come to that opening or support, I'll send encouragement. And that may not matter most of them in that moment, but it's another thing that they have to go into whatever they're about to do. So just follow your passion and support other people in the journey. Don't forget to give us a call at 443-642-9403. We want to hear from you. What's your passion? Tell us about your business. Call in and rep your business today. We have a phone call. Hello, caller.
Hello, how are you guys? Hey, I just wanted to call in. I'm kind of Mika Nicole.
This is Mika Nicole from the Style Lounge. I'm making my ice cream while making your point, okay?
Okay, you just build me. Yeah, listen, I want to tell you, number one, The Artist Exchange is one of my favorite podcast shows to watch. And I wanted to say, I wanted to piggyback off of what you were just talking about with the support from, you know, your loved ones, your family, and your friends. You know, it really is hurtful when people that you care about, you know, when you support, don't support you. But I think a part of it also makes you go harder and just go stronger. You know what I mean? To just kind of elevate in your craft. Because it's like, okay, if you're not supporting me, then I'm going to go harder because the strangers will support faster than the people that we expect to support. So, you know, for me, I think it's a thing to where though it's like, let me compete with myself. Let me, you know, be better than I was yesterday. You know what I mean? With or without the support. And the thing is, people act like they don't see you, but they're watching. They see us.
Yeah. They're watching.
I see you. I see you.
Yes, I see you.
If I could just chime in about support. When you live in a city like Baltimore, people want to support the who's who. They want to support who's already out, who's popular, who got it popping, who got this, who got that. People don't want to support the people coming up. And then the thing about the people popping, they act like they wasn't in your position at one point. They act like they wasn't in your. Oh, I can't reach back and give to the people who were like. Oh no, I gotta get around school. So now I'm in the in crowd. I gotta be in the in crowd with everybody else. I gotta support my in crowd. No, it ain't. It's nothing to reach back and just support somebody.
Yeah,
that's right. I hope everybody. I hope people come out this weekend and get fascinated on tomorrow at 1:00. Yeah, let's get fascinated tomorrow with Love for Moms and Veg Top Blue. That's it. I'm Mika Nicole and I'm out.
Get fascinated.
Yes, let's get fascinated. I love you guys. You're doing a great job. All right, Nene and Crystal, y'all have a good one. I'm watching the rest of the podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
I want to introduce our guest right now so she can give a little bit of information on who she is and what all that she does. So without further ado, Miss Shamise Jacobs.
Hey y'all, hey. Like you said, I'm Shamise Jacobs, or Shamise Ladie Jacobs, poet, writer, life coach, or wellness coach. I just want to see everybody win. I started with poetry, spoken word, and then I started hosting events. That's actually where I met Nate. I was hosting Spotlight, which was an open mic. So, and it was crazy because that night was so dry. I don't know if you remember. That night was crazy dry. But I try to keep it fun anyway.
Yes, a little bit. It was good. People was eating. They was eating.
Yeah. But I was used to a little more energy. But I'm glad that I did stop you and we did exchange information. And then I learned what you did because I didn't know about the Artist Exchange. And I recall seeing you not too long before I actually started watching Artist Exchange. I remember seeing you at Grace was doing Poets for Dinner virtual. And you were in there and you had a whole lot of good stuff to say. And I was just like, I like that.
Sunday, I go eat with Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is really that's one of my favorite poetry places in the city, actually. Mm-hmm. Poets for Dinner. She feed people. And then you get to see some poetry at the same time.
Okay.
My favorite
place. It's a win-win.
Check it out. Look them up on Instagram, Facebook, Poets for Dinner, last Sunday of every month.
Right, yeah. And so here I am, still writing occasionally. I'm working on my second book, second and third. So I think I'm gonna do another book of poetry. But the second book was not poetry related. It's a wellness book. With some poetry in it, but it wasn't all poetry like the first book. The first book I had is called Holiday. Mm-hmm. It is on Amazon. I've heard great reviews about it. I'm not saying that because it's my book, just saying what people had told me. But
well, you're the one that I would want to listen to. I don't think it's good. I don't want to read it.
I think it's awesome. I think I'm a great storyteller and poet and stuff. I've been doing it long enough. I should be good at it. But I've been doing it I've been writing since I was 12. I started doing spoken word at venues when I was 16. And that scene changed a lot. So you won't really see me anymore. It changed so much. I don't know if it's because I went away. It felt like it changed overnight. So I went away to Arizona for like 6 months.
It was a quick change. I think what happened was we got a lot of competition, spoken word events popping up, like a lot of major. So a lot of poets began to do that more. The slams and stuff like that wasn't as popular anymore. And then a lot of venues started closing down. And what happened was people who were not artists began to do those things. Mm-hmm. And it took away from the 5 seasons and stuff like that were major staples in the city. So it felt like it was overnight, but it kind of did it over the course of a couple years.
Yeah, it was crazy for me because it was like when I left for Arizona, the open mic still had that cliche, I guess you could say, Love Jones vibe. It was all love, it was all family. And then I came back and it was like walking into a scene from 8 Mile. And I was just like, this is not what I do. Like, it was just uncomfortable. And then it was like the scene got cliquish. If you weren't everybody's favorite, you were nobody's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's how it is, though. Unfortunately, it's a different kind of version. Yeah, if you're not everybody's favorite, you're nobody's favorite. And don't get me wrong, because it's some beef.
That's why I support. It's one of the reasons why I support Grace with Poets for Dinner so much, because she never makes any of the poets. Everybody has an equal shot. It's not like when your best friend come in, they get put on in front of the people that's been there was open. So shout out to Grace for keeping it going the way it's supposed to be going.
Yeah, so and I remember when Grace was little.
Do much better. No, I think
take all the notes. Take all the notes. Yes, but and then I've been kind of, for all intents and purposes, wellness coaching all my life. I just started taking it serious, I guess, over the last few years. Mm-hmm. But it was just like, how do I get into this? And because it's a business, and you do want to get paid for it. But I don't do it for the money. I literally just want to see everybody win as their best self, because I do believe that we all have it in us. So just trying to grow that business now and hoping for the best. I mean, I think everything is going to go great. I know what I offer and I know where it comes from, because what I do is coming from a very loving place. So I believe that the blessing is going to come in that, because I love helping people in any way I can. That's my passion. So I know that that's where my abundance is going to come from.
And one of the reasons, so once you decided to come on the show, the topic, I actually changed it, because one of those things that we as artists sometimes do is give ourselves away. And then especially the ones of us who went to school and kind of crafted our talents and kind of really solidified and those gifts and talents. And if y'all remember, a couple weeks ago, we did a show, I think that was last week. We did a show where we talked about the difference between gifts and talents. Those things that you should monetize and the things that you should not. And everybody, just because you have passion for something, it doesn't mean that that's something you should be selling or monetizing. And you have to really decide whether that's a gift or talent. And gifts are often things that we're supposed to be, that we've been given, that we're supposed to give out to other people. And there's nothing wrong with making money from your gifts, but the complication comes when you're pushing that and you haven't really sharpened that tool and you haven't prepared yourself to be a business artist. Some people are naturally good at writing, speaking, talking, acting, dancing, all of those things. But if you have not put in the work to really solidify those gifts and talents, and I don't think everybody needs to go to a university or school to learn those crafts, but it's a great place for people who have a different learning. You know, I think everybody should try, because I see a lot. The problem you have with the poetry scene is a lot of people saw it working for somebody else, and they and they thought it was going to work for them.
But they don't know the hard work that the person put in and the obstacles they had to overcome it.
But people don't care about that.
People don't care about that. They don't see the behind the scenes. They see what's going on when you hit action. They don't see what happens behind closed doors.
They don't see the late night where you're up trying to rack your brain to get things together and put them together. They want you to just tell them how you got there and really just do it for them and then give the money to them. That's what they're looking for. But that whole thing about putting your passion to work, there's a process in making a business out of your creativity. Specifically.
And it's a long process.
And it's really learning.
It's a long process.
A long process.
Right. So in terms of you working with other artists, because you curate events, you event plan, creative events, and you do life coaching. So what are some of the things that you tell people to do, or the preparation that you give to people or support people in getting before they're ready to go to another step? I'm sorry.
The first thing I always like to assure people of and really put in people's minds is that others are only going to take you as serious as you take yourself. That's one thing. You cannot go into anything with doubt. And no matter how good you are at something, it does not mean that you have to not work at it. Like, I don't think the greats stop practicing what they're great at any point. And then the ones who did not have great success once they got to whatever their top was. So just doing things like, I have a little cousin who raps, and I'm all about supporting the youth. But listen, it doesn't matter how good you rap. You got to rub elbows. You got to establish yourself as an artist. Other people have to know that you're an artist. You can't just jump out there and expect that people jump on board because you say, hey, I rap. You got to work for this. And so, like, in cases like his, let me give you the tools. Here's what's going on, because you also, I think, you got to be very mindful of what's going on. And you have, we live in this social media world right now. So I'm like, okay, you got a little audience, you got a little following, you need to give them something. What are you giving them? Because you can't just drop stuff on SoundCloud. Everybody don't have SoundCloud. You can't just, what you giving them? Let's get you a showcase. Let's see if the people come out. Put up some covers over with the beats that's hot right now. So, just those little tidbits, but you gotta work for it. You can't just post and expect that it's gonna happen. You can't, because I've rubbed elbows with a lot of great people. That doesn't necessarily mean that the moment I decided to take my wellness coaching or life coaching seriously, they were going to say, hey, I know this woman who is a really great coach. No, I got to do some workshops. I got to show up some places, and I got to prove myself. And I think a lot of people think that once they're good, they got to keep proving themselves. They don't have to keep proving themselves, but people are only going to take you as serious as you take yourself. And that means doing the work. People got to see you doing the work.
I'm not going to say I don't agree with you, but And that's where that support element comes in. Because we have a lot of people who did not study the craft, are not a part of the craft, don't have much respect for the craft, and you're nothing but entertainment to them. And one of the things that I have an issue with the idea of proving myself is you are looking at somebody you want to be. And because you can't obtain them in this moment, you're going to go to what's accessible to you. So what you're trying to do is make me that person. So I got to keep jumping through these hoops. I got to keep, that's why I don't have a problem with a non-creative running or producing creative works. But I need you to do the work that it takes for you to learn that craft, to learn that business, to learn that environment. Because then you're doing things like making people jump through hoops or being a gatekeeper. And you haven't even been a part of the makers. You don't know the work that this person has put into their career. And there's a lot of other things. So later on, I'm gonna bring up some of the other things that that I see as an issue. But in terms of you looking at this arts world right now, what are some of the things that you think you can fix or improve upon?
I want to see more less known faces have their 15 minutes. That's what I want to see. Because I am personally sick of seeing the same faces and hearing the same names when I do decide to tune in, because I understand the constant, it got repetitive, and I was just like, oh, him again, oh, her again. So as a matter of fact, when I released my first book, Holiday, I decided to, because of the work that I had to put into self-publishing that book, thank God I already had a following, but the work that went into it, I was like, I want to help the next person be able to do this. So I came up with the RVA project, which is the Recognize, Visualize, Actualize. What is it that you want to do creative-wise? Let's develop this plan to get it done. You're going to work for it, and then in turn, you're going to pass the baton. So I want to see new faces. That's why I loved doing Spotlight. My best friend came to me. He was like, Mies, I got this idea for this show that I want to do, and I just want to bring artists in and have them perform live. And I was like, I love it, because just in doing Spotlight with him I think we did it for about a year, I met a lot of new artists, people who could really sing, but who would know if we keep putting the same ones in rotations and keep throwing the same ones in everybody's faces. So it was just like...
Is it, so in terms of, so how do you think we can alleviate that? In terms of a community of artists, how can we not necessarily eliminate the star system, but eliminate this gatekeeper type of mentality where we're creating cliques and keeping people out of it?
I think the only way to do it, honestly, is to keep building outside of it and around it with venues or open mics like Poets for Dinner. I think, every time we develop something like that and draw in enough support, we keep giving these newbies a chance to shine. And eventually we built a whole community outside of everybody's phase. But I think even that has to be a collective effort. It can't be Grace alone. It can't be Tori alone. It can't be Nate alone. It has to be, that's where that support has to come in. Like, I see you, see me, seeing you, and let's keep doing this.
It's heartbreaking seeing people move here and get hurt that same way. It's hard when I see people leave here because they've been hurt that way. And a part of me, and I have a brother circle that I am a part of. It's 4 of us. And these are some of the type of conversations that we have, because for me, I've had different experiences in this art world than they have. And I felt that push and pull of being popular and being the person that everybody likes on their team, but they don't really support in return. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people get hurt and decide to leave here because of the lack of support. And as Bishop just said, that whole thing of waiting for somebody succeeds before you jump on a train. Yeah. I'm afraid of jumping on a moving train. I'm afraid. I want to capture people when I see them growing, and not because they're going to take me with them. But
I need to see the conductor of the train.
Right, exactly. I love being there.
Yes.
Zero, where you're building with the person, and the person knows who. Versus trying to, booking guests on my show used to be tremendously hard because I went after the people who were the most successful, the most, and what I noticed is those people don't have time for you.
Make time.
They don't. It's not that my guests now aren't successful. Because many times, and I have a few friends that are in like the NBA, or they reach a certain level of stardom in Hollywood, and they really don't reach back because when they were on this level, nobody supported them.
Yeah.
So they gravitated towards other cultures of people who supported them, or they gravitated towards communities of people who supported them. And often that community did not look like us, and often that community was not in their community. And it's, I'm trying to figure out from people who organize the way you do, how we can fix this problem and kind of break down those, and all I call them are gatekeepers.
Yeah. But the thing I have with that kind of support is it really support, or are you riding the wave of my success now?
It's definitely riding the wave.
It's no way you could have supported me when I was nobody, but now that I'm somebody, you want to ride my wave. That's really what it is. Because
once the new face comes in,
they're gonna be on that person's train.
Right. I'm watching all this stuff online about Nicki Minaj and what she's feeling right now is the same thing that Little Kim felt.
Yes.
That's what you're feeling right now.
Absolutely.
And now you understand what disrespect looks like. Yeah. Now you understand what that feeling is like. Because I would rather my faithful 5 followers versus those 5,000 fair weather. Yeah. I can't do it anymore. I market to those people who will support me. I'm no longer spending my time trying to convince, going to every event trying to show my face. Nope.
So much about
clothes. So as a curator for the arts,
look who I know.
Yeah.
Look who I know.
Yeah.
Look how, because let's face it and let's be honest. If you're standing next to somebody who's shining, you shine too. And I think I mostly hate the fact that I could be shining and you didn't have to do no work to shine, but because I'm standing next to you, we both look good. I don't like that. Right. I don't.
But see, that was the old way. That was the old way, though. That was the old way. Now I want to shine, and I want your shine.
And I want your shine.
Yeah.
So that's where we are now with it. And that's the part that scares me, because often that person has not done work that is required for them to even shimmer, let alone shine.
They did something positive in that moment, and that person caught on to it, and now they just hyping them up.
Yeah.
They ain't even that good. I'm just gonna hype you up because you know me, and I'm great, and somebody gonna follow me, so they gonna follow you.
Right. And I think we really need to get a grasp of what is important to us and just figure out what the passion was. Remind ourselves of that eagerness and that hunger and that drive we used to have. Many of us get comfortable. That's why we have so many local celebrities, because people get comfortable with the status quo. And it's uncomfortable for me to be comfortable. When I feel uncomfortable, I got to get up and do something.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh no, you're sitting in this too long.
And then I think
the problem I have with local celebrity status is that they know they will never be bigger outside of here because people are around the wave of who's here. who's popping right here. Because you know, if you go outside of Baltimore, they're gonna look at you like you who, but I don't know you. You can't take that same mentality to Hollywood. You can't take that same mentality somewhere where it's really celebrity status. Because they're gonna look at you like you're who? You're nobody.
Yeah.
But here we're gonna, I know he popping in my city. That's your city. Can he go to Chicago and be popping? Can he go to Miami? Can he go to Atlanta? Can he go anywhere in Houston? Anywhere to be that same status? No, that's why a lot of people who go outside of this city take people from this city with them so they can help boost up their ego. To me.
Yeah. So
and I always wonder too about what's the end game. Like, what is the end? What is the ultimate goal? Because for me, I love everything art. So if I have a dancer who comes to me and has not figured out a way to develop a platform, I want why is this important to you? Because I can't just stand behind and support just anything. You know, you can't want to do spoken word just because you think you sound good. Because I love poetry. I love the art of spoken word. So I need to know what your end game is, or I can't stand behind that. I cannot. That matters like a lot to me.
And it's and not taken away, because there are people who just love doing it. And they have a great career during the day and they just love doing it. And this, none of this is to them, but a lot of it I'm finding, because I love working with a novice. I love working with someone, especially as a director or as a teacher. I love working with someone who had no prior knowledge, and now you're giving them information and they're taking it and running with it. I've seen so many non-actors become great actors because they were willing to listen and learn and grow and mature. Whereas though you have somebody who has studied this, owed tons of money to Sally Mae, and can't take a note, can't take criticism, and you know, just right. So it's learning how to be an artist is half the battle. You know, I'm learning the business side of it. So my next question to you is, what about the business have you learned in the last couple years in doing this?
That 9 times out of 10, people won't play fair. And if you challenge people, they will find some in their own way to do what they think is above you. And it's just like, have fun. And then that's nice. But for as long as I've been doing spoken word, I've had people not want to pay me what I know I'm worth. And I tell myself it's because they don't know what goes into doing a feature. For me anyway, because I have so many other things on my plate, I got to memorize these poems so that you get the effectiveness when I'm on your stage or in your space. I got to travel to you. It's work. So don't come at me, because I think especially with poets, they don't take us serious. They expect that we want to just show up and do poetry.
I'm gonna tell you something. People pretend not to see your worth, and they know your worth. They just hoping that you don't.
But
because often many of those same people that you're speaking about are artists themselves. Many of those people that you're speaking about are artists themselves who know the grind, but they just hoping and praying that you're one of those eager, hungry people that's willing to settle for less or a portion of their worth.
And so I think that's
and it's all for profit.
And so that's what I'm saying, going back to, you know, dealing with artists who with a specific end game. I just need to know that you love the craft and that you want to do this because you love doing it. That I can stand behind because I get it. And when it's done with passion and with heart, it's beautiful and the world will eventually see you. That doesn't have to be the goal. If you want to do it just because you're passionate about it, 100% I'm behind you. But you can't be like, oh, I want to do this because I want to make millions. I don't know. Because I don't think that always works out well when that's your end game, when that's your reason, when that's your purpose. Because I'm a spiritual person, I move spiritually. Even with taking clients, I always say, let's see if we're a good fit, because we may not be a good fit. I may not be the coach you want to go with. You might not like my coaching strategies and my techniques. You may not like my attitude or demeanor. Because I'm a straight shooter. So, you might need to be coddled a little bit. I'm not your girl. I don't coddle. I want you to get this. So it's like, I can stand behind passion all day long. But when you come into business and art, I don't feel like enough people care about the passion.
Right.
They want the next big thing. They want the most popular thing.
Part. Right. That's the unfortunate part, because there's so many people out here, and I think even the people who are going about it the wrong way, they want this. Mm-hmm. It's just that we've chosen a different space, a different avenue. Even as the audience or the consumer, we've all chose what is shiny over there versus the quality and the people that are in our reach. And I'm not saying I can't love Patty no more, or I can't. I'm not saying it that way. Not just to support locally, but we have to learn how to have compassion. I had a really great conversation with a gentleman. Y'all listening may know him, Black Root, Mr. Jamal Couser, this morning, and it was based off of just a thread that we were both commenting on, and we actually had a great conversation. It wasn't an argument. I mean, we know each other. We've been in a group together, but it was more so. Most times, those types of things get ugly, and it wasn't because him or I are not that. Him, neither or am I are that type of person. And what I realized, even in having that conversation, it's possible for us to love on each other. It's possible for us to have a relationship with each other where I can express my feelings, I can express my thoughts, and then not end in an argument.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Because what you're telling me is respect what I feel. Not even that you don't agree with it, but you don't respect it. Yeah. You don't respect that I have a feeling or a thought that's different than yours.
Yeah.
Some people want you to go with their narrative.
Right. And how does this all make sense when we speaking about passion? Because it's give and take.
Yeah.
You're not always gonna be on the stage. And I think I learned this differently because I'm a theater actor. Mm-hmm. And as a theater actor, you learn you can be the janitor one day, the stage manager the next day, the actor, the star, the director. You have to really learn all what you're supposed to. Many people just learn what they want to do, and they don't really learn the stuff that's around them. And that's a big issue as well. But because I came up in Black theater and community theater and educational theater, I had to learn how to play every role. So I may not be the star this time. And that's okay. Because now I'm going to support my friend that is out front this time. Yeah. And when I'm the star, I can sit in the feeling that people are going to support me in this new space and this new effort. And you respect everybody the same way. But many of us are learning to be business owners. Prime example, throughout this pandemic, many people had the money and the time and the access to be able to get the things that they wanted, and they did not learn what it is that they wanted to do. Many of them. Some of them did, but many of them did not.
And therefore they dropped the ball.
They dropping the ball. I've been listening to a few restaurants be dragged through the mud because in the last couple of days, because somebody found something in their food. I mean, you didn't do the proper steps to learning your task. You probably paid for that serve safe certificate if you got one, and you did not do the proper steps that you needed to take because you just wanted to say, I own this.
Yeah.
Be careful jumping into things, calling it your passion if you ain't really passionate about it. If you're passionate about money, say that. It's not going to be good for you.
Money and notoriety.
Say that.
That's really what it's
about. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. And I think he said a restaurant break. Be right back. Oh, he's not back yet. So, okay. So we're going to keep talking then. So the next question that I have for you, in terms of how you develop your business. So if you're writing over here, if you are curating events, if you are life coaching over here, how do you separate those things and keep that balance going without trying to do everything at one time?
Writing is like the love of my life. Words are, and the power they hold when they come together, especially when, like I said, it's coming from a spiritual place. The way that I write, my process, it's not really ever intentional. I think the most intentional thing I've ever done with my writing was back in the day when I did 2 spoken word albums and then the book. But writing, I could be waking up, 3 o'clock in the morning out of my sleep because a line comes to me and I'm like, I gotta write this down before I forget. And that one line might sit for 6 months before it's the actual poem. And then that poem might sit for 2 years before anybody ever hears it. So writing is, I don't know, that just happens. I've had to be a little more intentional with this upcoming book because it's not spoken word, and I want to make sure am not misleading anybody because it is a wellness book, and because it is kind of personal or coming from a personal place. I want to make sure that I'm not projecting and misleading people with it. So it's a little more tedious than I'm used to. So with that, I love my friends and my family. I have to be very, very, very careful with it. So it's like, all right, Joe, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to write between this time and this time. I don't care if it's one word, but y'all hold me accountable so that I don't get distracted. And then when it comes to curating events, I get the idea. I start doing my research. What's the best venue to hold this at? Why? Well, what's the outcome that we want? How do we go about getting this outcome? Who do we need to make this vision come to life? Who do we need to reach out to? And so once I've done all of the research that I feel is enough, then I start, reaching out to the contacts and seeing what we can do. And a lot of times you got to tweak stuff or hope that people come through like they say they're going to. And 9 times out of 10, just because life happens, not everybody is dependable, but you learn to just work with what you have when you have to. And then with the coaching, I don't know, I've kind of been blessed enough that I don't have to search for clients. I know a lot of people who know people, and I get, a lot of references or just in conversation, just having conversations. People are like, oh, you're wise, or I love that perspective. They might come back to me and say, hey, I need you. And it's just like, okay, let's see if this works. So it just kind of happens. But I think the easiest hat to wear is writer. It is, until I have to do something specific with my words. Because then it becomes work.
Because I'm always interested in how people who do multiple things that don't really correlate with each other, how do they itemize them? How do they make time for them? Because many times, especially new entrepreneurs, and I know some older entrepreneurs with the same issue, it becomes an issue because they try to do everything at one time versus making time for things. And even for me, I'm learning now, even today, up until today, saying no to things, setting clear, concise boundaries that you communicate.
Absolutely.
And learning how to, balance things out. Balance is never going to be 100% because there's no such thing as perfection, but just learning how to get as close as possible to that without running yourself ragged or doing too much, and not just learning how to say no. That is, I'm gonna say that's been one of my most valuable lessons, but I'm still learning to say no. It's still an ongoing thing that you have to continue to sharpen that tool. Some people know how to do it without even concern. But especially if you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to weigh, is this an opportunity that I need or one that I want? Is this me helping a friend or is this me just, I'm bored? And really learning what that maybe possibly no, yes is, and why you're making that decision.
Some years back, I learned how to say no hard.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but so I learned how to say, give a hard no some years ago, and that was for my own sanity because I was running myself rampant. But now I was going crazy because I couldn't say no, and I looked up and had all these things on my plate, and it was like, how am I going to get all this done? Now my favorite line is, let me look at some stuff and see what I can do. And I've never thought I would own a planner. I literally got to go and look at my planner and say, okay, can I move this? Can I do this at another time? But yeah, I was a free spirit. I did whatever I wanted whenever I felt like I wanted to. And I don't have that the liberty
and just be okay with not feeling like doing something.
Okay.
Understand the consequences to that. Because you may not get another ask at another time. But if you don't feel like, I would rather you tell me you don't feel like doing it versus me finding out because you disappeared from the project. Yeah. And I'm dependent on you. That has happened several times. I've seen it happen to people. But I would rather take a hard no in the beginning versus a disappearing act in the middle or at the end. So in terms of building the business side of what you're doing. I'm not trying to get in your wallet or anything, but how have you learned how to balance that? Because you're doing different things that require different levels of financial awareness and understanding and control. So how have you learned how to balance?
For a while, I had a 9 to 5. So I could.
We call them benefactors. We call them benefactors.
For a while, I had that happening. So I could just, I could say no. I could turn down anything. I could. It was just like, no, I feel like it. You're right. Now you do have to consider: is this an opportunity I need or no? But also, I know all money ain't good money. So then I got to tap into that spiritual side and say, guide me on this one. If I feel a little shaky about it, it's a no. If anything in my spirit says no, it's a no for me. That's hands down. It's given, and I'm almost never wrong for saying no when I get the feedback or the.
So I'm gonna go out on a hard no, to this commercial break. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. Check out this commercial break. If you want to be a sponsor, we got you. Peace out. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Work this phone. You know I don't know how to work this cell service. Come on, I gotta get ready. I want to go to bingo. Man, who is this? Didn't I just talk to you? I already done told you. The butler did it. October the 1st, next Friday, 8:00 p.m. Get your pajamas, get your family. Come on and watch the movie with us. I done gave you all this information already. I got to get ready to go down to bingo, down to the Catholic Church, and you are holding me up. I don't want to see you no more. And so Friday, 8:00, Facebook, YouTube, watching live with all of us, the butler did it. All right? Now let me go get dressed. Let me put my myrtle lips on. I'll talk to y'all later.
Can train and certify over 10,000 students in 10 years. We can renovate over 10,000 houses in 10 years. This is the Inner City Trade School Project, sponsored by Get With The Program. It's our time and it's our turn.
I feel like once we address the needs of the students, we can ensure that they'll be successful in the program.
The main idea is to know the safety of the program. And
do Black Lives Matter?
Yes.
We're going to show you how much Black Lives Matter. because we have a solution to the problem.
This school will help change the mindset of our young Black men.
And that's what we're trying to do, bring pride back to our community.
Substance use, anger management, mental health.
So here at the Inner City Trade School, that's what we're trying to build. That's what we're trying to create, an environment for our people to thrive.
I'm so happy to see one of my Beings Homes family members today. I want to get back on the station, but I definitely want to run my ad for my business on Be Exposed Radio. They are attached to so many different businesses and great entities here in the city. If you have a business, you definitely want to put your business out there, commercial, shout out, anything, and sponsor one of the great shows that's on Be Exposed Radio.
What's going on? Miss Shamise, if you can unmute yourself. We're back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BigExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate. Don't forget, if you're looking for a great place to advertise your business, market your next event, product, services, book release, whatever it may be, almost within reason, we'll definitely promote your upcoming product, services, businesses, and events. So that's the Artist Exchange Radio Show. You can email us at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com if you're interested in advertising with us, or you can hit us up at info@BigExposedRadio.com, and we'll be glad to get back with you at our earliest convenience, which is probably in 3 seconds, because we're all entrepreneurs ready for the money.
Ready.
Yeah.
And we I also want to say the Artist Exchange is going through a definite evolution right now. And I spoke about this last week. We have an organization that just decided to use my name, and we're about to handle that. So if you are looking for any business solutions, if you're going through any legal things, any problems, hit us up. We have a couple great people that can help you out. We'll be having them on in the next couple weeks. An organization that really helps artists and entrepreneurs out when they are fighting against big business and just ruthless people who don't care and like to steal, kill, and destroy people's dreams. But the devil. Again, make sure you have your business in order. And often we jump into business because it's our passion, and we don't cross all the T's or dot all the I's. And somebody can scoop right in there and steal your idea because they know you haven't fortified it all the way. And then there are cases where people just don't care. They'll just take your name, take your product, and guerrilla style and do it. Even the most established businesses, Everyman Theater, sometimes steal. But I digress, and I'm gonna get back to the guest at hand. We got a couple more minutes. And I have a couple more questions. Do you have any questions for our guests today?
I do have a question for you. I don't know if you asked the question early, but when it comes to giving back and reaching back and supporting others, how do you do that? What do you do to reach out to support the people who are not as, how can I say, I want to say exposed, but not as established as someone else you might have dealt with? How do you reach and give back to the artist community or whatever you guys call it?
I am big on plugging people. I will plug the hell out of somebody that I don't think, or if I come across, I'm so serious, if I come across an opportunity that I can't take or that I don't have time to take, but I know somebody who is, I don't care who else knows this person. I'm like, you know what? I got somebody for you. I always got somebody for something, even if I know that the person is not as experienced. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they experienced enough to be teach. We can all be taught. The person who knows everything could be taught something new. So if you have a play and I know a person who I think should be an actress or actor, I'm going to pass that opportunity on to them. And even if they're scared to do it, I'm listening.
Well, we're going to talk here. We're going to talk.
Yeah. Even if they're scared to do it, you know, if it's something that we even played about in conversation, I'm going to put you on. The first chance I get, I'm going to put you on. If it's an event that I can support by donating, if it's an event I can support just by showing up and literally being a helping hand, I'm there. But I'm good for plugging somebody. I will every time.
Now, I'm going to be that person. Right, I'm gonna be that person, but I'm learning to be more selective, and I'm learning to be more, just more aware, because is it being reciprocated?
Right,
and I don't do things for the sake of getting back, but I can't keep being a cup that's getting tipped out.
Okay,
I can't keep pouring out, and I'm running right, and exactly.
Now, to piggyback off of what Nate just said about replenishing, with the many hats that you wear, being a writer, a curator, and a poet, how do you find time for Shamise? Am I not? Shamise. I'm sorry. How do you find time for Shamise? How do you find time to say, you know what, I need to take a break from all of this and give Shamise some time, because I know all my hats. Now I need some me time. How do you find time to do that?
So everybody who is in my close circle, because I'm very big on self-care, and because I was able to pull myself up out of a 5-year depression and anxiety spell, I know when I've had enough. And so some years back now, my family and friends are very familiar. Everybody knows on Sundays, Shamise does only what Shamise wants to do. Shamise does only what. So Sunday is my day. That's anything that's going on in the world has to wait until Monday morning, because Sunday it's a no for me. I ain't picking up my phone. I ain't making no phone calls. If you don't live in my household, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see your face. And sometimes I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to see their faces either. That's my day to do whatever I want. And then, I mean, if I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed, I know how to just put stuff on hold. I try not to let stuff overlap. You know, I'm trying to be, you know, better at time management outside of, what would you call it, a benefactor? You know, outside of that, because I was always, that's one of my skills, you know, resume skills, is my time management when I'm on the clock. I do really good at moving stuff around and delegating and all of that, but it was just like in my personal life with that and then everything else that I was trying to do. Okay, yeah, I do. And so that's where the idea that Sunday had to be for me came from. And so that's my day. I can handle anything else Monday through Saturday.
And that's a big lesson. It's a big, and you mentioned time management, because that's a big thing. When you're moving from a benefactor position to your own entrepreneurship situation, that's we don't do that too well. Honestly, I know of people who have jumped into full-time business and don't know what to do. They didn't take anything that they learned from that benefactor and apply it to what they're doing. That's what you have a job for. You're not supposed to be there just making somebody else's life comfortable, or making somebody else vacation more comfortable. You're supposed to be picking up the tools and things of that nature while you're giving your time and your talents. You're supposed to be taking also.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that's what you only apply to your own
having that and like writing, like pulling the first book together, because some of the poems in my first book, I wrote some of them in like 2008 and 2011. So putting the book together was time consuming. And then, because it's order in the book, it's intentionally put together the way that it is. And initially, when I first got the idea to publish, I was just like, "I will publish a book of poems." And it was like the creator was like, "Not like you think you're about to. No, you're not." And I always had to say, thank God that I had a partner at the time who understood what I needed, even when I didn't know what I needed. I knew it wasn't love for God, even though I still think he might have been the devil. But just being, like I said, intentional and knowing that on this. Listen,
and we're not going to edit that out.
I'm just saying. While he was there, I know that it was divine intention and alignment, but it was like, I know I'm gonna be tired. I get off at 3:30. I know I need to rest between 4 and 6, but at 6, I need to be working on this book. And then at 8, I need to get up from this desk. I need to get up and I need to do something else. And we only gonna do this 2 times a week, and that's how I work. I have to. Otherwise, I will be stirred. I'd be crazy. I will be crazy. Everything has to be intentionally done and managed well. I might got some control issues, just a little bit.
Right. I mean,
I felt it a little bit, but I didn't say
but don't even. I mean, that's what it takes. If that's what it takes. That's what it is, because a lot of us succumb to what other people want so much that, for me, the big part of my adult artist career was spent always being there for somebody else.
Yeah.
And it took a pandemic. And I'm telling you, I started college when I was about 21, going on 22. I'm 38 this year. And it's taken me this long to focus on me, and it wasn't even me. It was a pandemic hit, and I was forced to make it on my own.
Yeah, you have a choice.
Right. I knew how to work. I knew how to get a paycheck. I knew how to pay bills, but I never made time for me. Everybody else's dreams around me had a dose of Nathan on it. It had a dose of me on it. It had a little piece sprinkle, if not a big piece of me on it. And a lot of those things, I have no ownership over it. It was not in my name. It was not mine. I had to end it when they felt like ending it.
Yeah.
And a lot of and I learned a lot of valuable lessons. I learned a lot of skill sets that I'm now applying to me.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things now, if I'm not making money with it, if I'm not getting an opportunity from it or learning something from it, Nathan will not be there.
I know that's right.
Nathan.
Yes, that's the serious government name.
I know
that's
right.
Serious. So, and it's not about me not supporting anybody. We often have dreams, and us as creatives, we have to watch how we do this to other people. We have a dream. You have to make sure if you need people to help you with that dream, you are making ways for that person to achieve and succeed in your dream. Stop just putting these things out there where people need, they need, what they call it, what's the big word? They need some type of experience. You'll get some experience from this. I forgot the word that I've heard so much in my 20s, but it was, I don't need no more of that. I got that overflowing in my closet.
I got enough. I'm trying to get exposure.
Exposure, that's what it is. Exposure. Exposure. I can go outside and be exposed.
Yeah. You won't be exposed right now.
Right. I'm exposed every Friday, 5 to 6:30. I don't need no more exposure.
Listen,
make ways. Stop creating these creative outlets. Stop creating these creative outlets or these work environments, and you want volunteers. But you will take home that profit. You're not gonna give that back to anybody. That's why it kills me when I see these people going hard for these celebrities. You put them there. That's your money that they sitting on. That's your part of that yacht is yours. Yet we don't give that to our own. We don't give that to ourselves. Here, you ain't had a vacation all year long, and you will go spend top dollar so the Fugees can go on another. I would
can go to Africa, okay? On tour.
And I love the Fugees, but I'm not gonna give them no $100 and some dollars.
No, Mary sitting in the nosebleed.
Maybe Mary. Maybe Mary.
Our tickets are $200.
Mary may do a lot.
Maybe Mary.
Maybe
Mary.
But I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm gonna make it to one of the Fuji concerts. I know I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna kill myself making it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that to myself when I could be giving that money to somebody local, somebody who I know who needs the money.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when J. Cole decided he was gonna go on tour. And I was like, oh, he's gonna be in Philly. Oh, I could go to Philly. We can get to Philly. And the tickets that I wanted, because I like when I do it, I want to do it. The tickets that I wanted was almost $500. I was like, you know what? We just gonna keep him in rotation on Spotify because I got other stuff to do. We just we just gonna keep him in rotation.
He gets credit for that. He gets credit
you know
for
what I'm saying? We gonna support that way.
3/7 of a point.
Yeah, we gonna do that way.
I'll pray for you. Exactly. I'll wait for the bootleg phone clips to come out. I'll see it. I'll be good. So as we close out the interview, I normally ask my guests a final question, and that question is: what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self, and what question would you ask to your 100-year-old self? There are no right or wrong answers, and we're not trying to alter time. But yes,
that's heavy. My 17-year-old self, I would probably tell her that she had more time. I thought I had to try to do everything then. And so everything changed. You got more time. You're gonna get to do all of this. It don't have to get done right now. Because I think that turned into me learning how to be comfortable with stress very early on in my life, as if my background didn't already provide me that education. But just trying to get everything done so fast, so much, so soon. Not thinking that I had all this time that I had to, now I'm twice that age. And then to my 100-year-old self, you said, what question?
What question?
What question would I ask my 100-year-old self? I guess if we made the impact that we wanted to make. Yeah.
And this question and this advice that I offer up, they are great for meditation prompts, writing prompts, and it really tells you where you are right now. It gives you a lot of insight as to where you are in this moment. You're telling your 17-year-old self, take your time, and you're asking, what was to your 100-year-old self?
That we make the impact that we wanted to.
You're thinking about legacy.
Yeah.
But understand how those two things can be a contract. And how they can be useful to each other. And ask yourself this randomly sometimes, or plan the time to ask these questions to yourself. Because it gives you plenty of insight. Right now, you're probably still rushing and still thinking about your legacy all at the same time. So how are you going to get to legacy if you're rushing?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And
so it gives you plenty of insight. Go ahead.
I don't talk to my younger self, me, enough. I talk to the younger me that I see in the youth. I talk to that younger self in them. When I see those bits and pieces of myself in them,
that's the same. It's the same thing.
It don't always resonate. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like right here.
Right. But when you were 17, would what advice you just gave your 17-year-old self, would you have listened at 17? You're like, this ain't don't know what she's talking about. I got to get it going. And at some point, I mean, it may take you 5 years, it may take you 20 years, it may take you 50 years to get it. But at some point, just planting that seed, that's why I love working with young people. Because you plant that seed. And then I've had students come to me years later telling me that they just graduated from umpteen university with a theater degree. Now, this child had no concern in theater. They had no concern in respecting me, let alone in theater. But for them to make space to come to me, that made something I gave to them was useful. And it really does say a lot about you speaking to your younger self when you're doing that, because those are often our opportunities to get it right. So, great conversation. I really appreciate you coming on and signing on. And I want to have you come more. We have to set a moment to meet up, and you come on down, and we have some tea and some snacks, and we talk business. Because that's what I'm about. Like we can giggle and giggle all that, but business has to be the outcome. Yes. So I'm really excited. I'm glad you reached out. I'm appreciative that you reached out and then decided to come on the show. I'm really am grateful. And I'm just saying to everybody out there, real quick, give out your social media where people can find you for your various jobs and such.
All the hats. SJ Speaks 111. SJ Speaks 111 on Instagram. Shamise Jacobs on Facebook. I'm back on Twitter, but I really don't do Twitter. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. So the best place to find me and catch me is
all that porn. I ain't got time for it.
Look,
it is. It's like, but it's your friends that became porn stars. Because I didn't like no porn star. No, I'm sorry, friends.
No, because now you're gonna make me go on to the Twitter and see what you're talking about. I didn't know about that. I'm telling you.
See the lives some of your friends are living. Some of your friends living a different life now. So, because I know I didn't like any porn pages. That's what happened.
Yeah,
I've been sitting on this OnlyFans idea, so I'm not opposed to it. I'm not ready to make that leap yet. I ain't there yet. Don't judge me.
Look at Crystal face though.
Don't judge me.
Listen.
First of all,
Crystal,
this one right here. Don't let her fool you. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We're definitely gonna have you on again. You're gonna be my special correspondent for business and maybe events and all those things. And whatever, you may have to do a show. We may have to set you up with a show. So who knows?
I love it.
Well, one quick thing: do you have the events coming up? Do you know of any hot events coming up? Like anything?
So, real quick, I want to plug that my best friend a few weeks ago we did a show for to collect donations to feed the homeless. So he's about to do that in a couple of weeks. I will share the flyer. We're asking if anybody else wants to donate financially. If you want to donate your time, come on down and help feed the homeless. This is the second annual. The first one was really great. We want a bigger turnout this year. And then in November, I am doing a wellness workshop, calling it the SWAT meet, because we shifted the mindset so that we shift some lives. We trading it out, fair exchange, no robbery. Everybody wins when you change your mind and decide to, be better. So that's in November. Tickets are on sale on Eventbrite and of course directly through me. But also I just gotta watch the page because stuff be coming up. Just follow me on Instagram. Stuff be coming up.
I got you. So I'm gonna reach out to you. We'll set that date and we're gonna get it popping. Because that's what we have to do in this new world.
Let's get off real quick. I wanted to interject something for you guys. Let's get off real quick. Y'all do know that the gallery downtown is closing?
I saw something about that.
And I know that's a big artist spot, and I wanted to get y'all opinion.
I saw something about that.
That's the city thinking they know better than we do as citizens.
As they always do.
They gonna mark it. Yeah. But Oh, I know the people who really gonna be upset. Those people that be in the bathroom.
Absolutely.
That's really gonna be upset.
Listen.
But nevertheless, you know, they gonna find another bathroom.
Yeah.
But tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, Rachel, a show at Motor House right here on North Avenue in Howard. The last weekend for it. Also tonight, Funktopia at the Volve on 25th and Charles. There's a great concert going on there. This is the last night for it. And this weekend we'll be having our doors open for the public to come through the studio, Bash Shop Blue Jewelry Studio, as well as Style Lounge Boutique. Come on through. Got some great one-of-a-kind earrings for you and for your adornment. If you have any friends you want to do a party, come by tomorrow. We'll be having a fascinator event where you get to make your own fascinator. And as we go into our fall and winter season, we'll be doing more workshops and there are virtual components to it as well. So that's been an Artist Exchange radio show. I got to get going. I got enough time to make me a quick sandwich, and I got to go do my show, Rachel at Motor House. So peace out, people. Thank you again, Miss Shamise.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Crystal.
No problem. Nice to meet you, Shamise.
You too.
Peace out, people. Have a great day. Just enjoy your view. The view wasn't really good today, so I took that. Take time to enjoy your view.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shamise.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to come